some witches who work with demons are able to set aside their interactions and their relationships with demons from things such as horror media and horror content. They're able to keep these things separate, and they can still enjoy the art and the art form of horror media and work with demons and have these things both be true and be content and happy with that. For me, I have a very specific taste of horror media, and if the horror media doesn't meet my specific taste, I'm not going to enjoy it, or I'm far less likely or inclined to enjoy it. And for me, if I'm watching a horror movie as someone who does work with demons, and the horror movie just portrays the horror movie can't betray the demons because the people who wrote it don't know demons. They never do. But what I mean is, when a horror movie portrays demons as just these bloodthirsty, thoughtless, heartless, soulless monsters, so essentially the somewhat based on the Christian portrayal of demons as just these evil, wicked spirits, which doesn't really make any sense if you actually dig into the history of demons, but so few do. But because a lot of horror movie just essentially portrays demons as these violent, dangerous, predatory, monstrous caricatures, it's, to me, I am not able to separate my relationships with demons when I see that from just viewing that as really fucking offensive. Like, I know there are people who do, and I fully respect that, and I fully understand that some people are able to separate the art of horror from their actual relationships with demons, and some witches out there are able to enjoy both as separate things. But for me, I can't stand it. I genuinely hate it when I'm like watching a horror movie and there is no substance or depth to the demon character. They're just bad for the sake of being bad. They're just evil for the sake of being evil. There really isn't any nuance to it beyond that, and it bothers me so much because demons are nothing like that. They are nothing like that. And they are not just fucking out here terrorizing humans for no reason. Like, that is not what they're like. And it's really, really annoying to me because I want to see demons portrayed, even in fictional media, more thoughtfully and nuancedly as actual fully fledged people. Because at least for me, working with demons as a witch, they are people. Like, they're different from humans. They are different to humans. They are not human, except through possession of a human in some cases. But they're still people. Like, they're not just fucking out here being evil for no fucking reason, how people are taught and how is reinforced by the fictional portrayal in these horror movies. And I know that maybe it shouldn't offend me, maybe it shouldn't offend me because it's a fictional portrayal, right? But the reason it offends me so deeply and personally is that I am a part of many demonized human demographics. I have high-functioning autism. I have DID, dissociative identity disorder, and I'm transgender. And honestly, I do believe that it is in being demonized for the minorities that I myself fall into that partially drove me to working with demons, because they are so demonized. In where I live, the USA, we're taught societally to see demons as just these evil people and just write them off and exclude them from everything. And because I was treated that way for the groups that I fall into, and I was told my whole life that by different people that, like, because I'm transgender, that makes me satanic, and because I'm different, that makes me bad, and because my brain processes information differently, that makes me evil. And I've been told for being a DID system things that like I wouldn't tell to my worst enemy. And it's like there's really a solid I feel like misrepresentation of my own demographics where the media portrays people like me as violent, dangerous, evil predators, psychotic, narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic, deranged threats. And the thing is because I am a part of demographics that are casually portrayed as evil in pop media, or in media portraying people like me, I cannot fucking stand it that the demons that I work with are portrayed that way in media, because I am also, or people like me are portrayed that way in media. And so it honestly, being demonized in the way of, like, my whole life, people just stripping me of my humanity, essentially, is a huge part of what drove me to working with demons in the first place. I was told that my innate existence is demonic. I was told that my innate existence goes against Christianity and atheism by both Christians and atheists, because I was raised both. I was raised by and with both. And I was told by both that who I am as an autistic and transgender DID system is completely unacceptable and could never fit into either. And so I found solace and peace in demons, in working with demons, because I saw myself and parts of myself mirrored through these demons. And I genuinely believe that they are nuanced, complicated, fully fledged people. And yes, do they sometimes do things that hurt humans? Of course they do. They're not perfect. They're not infallible. They're not omnipotent, but they are gods, at least in my opinion. And they are people. They are people. And they are more complicated than just these caricatures. And I feel like they are capable of love and beauty and deep thought, and like being with them has changed my life, because they've opened doors for me and they've taught me things, but they leave the hard work up to me. They show me options. They make me aware of things I wasn't aware of, but then the actual work is up to me to do. And so they're like teachers, but it's more than that. And I understand that it's fiction. And ultimately, as far as fiction goes, I feel like fiction is a place where people should be able to express whatever they want. However, just because something is fiction does not make it above criticism. In the same way that just because someone says something is just a joke doesn't make it funny. And I just feel like demons are so used to being portrayed that way, that they've been portrayed in this like villainizing way for like hundreds and hundreds of years, like to the point where like they just know that humans are fucking stupid and they don't really care about it, because it's just like they're used to it. But to me, it's like, I don't know, I shouldn't have phrased it that way, but I gravitate more towards horror media that is humanizing towards the demons and the monsters and whoever it is that it's portraying. And maybe at that point, maybe it's not quite horror media, because then the intention isn't just to scare people, right? The intention would be more complicated than that. But I guess it's just, to me, it's like, I see so much of the love. I see so much love in demons, and I wish that there was more artwork that could, I guess, bridge the gap between humans and demons. And I try really hard in my own artwork and writing and in the things that I put out there to try and show the positive and loving side of demons, or the more nuanced, humane side. And I think that, I'm no longer like trying to put demons on a pedestal above humans. I'm not trying to do that either. And I've been specifically told by the demon I have the highest regard for, who is not exactly just a demon, but is other entities as well, to not put them on a pedestal above humans, but to treat them as my equals. And so I'm trying to do that in my life, and to, even though I do believe that these beings are gods, I do believe they are in some ways more powerful, or maybe not exactly more powerful, but they have a different sort of power to the power that humans have, which makes them, just in my mind, like gods, because they have things that humans can't do, or they can do, and we can do things they can't do too. But it's just, but also I've been told to treat them as my equals at the same time, and to not put them as above me. So I try and do that, and I try and live that way as well now, even though, is treating demons as my equals sort of antithetical to theistic Satanism and demonolatry? I don't think so. I think it's just that my approach to these things is radically different than the relationship people might have in a different type of religion or belief system. Because, at least in my case, my sorcery is unlike any other belief system out there, because a lot of it is self-invented as a chaos magician. But yeah, it's just like, I guess I'm making this to say that I don't have anything against horror media, because I understand that it's fiction, and I don't have anything against the people who enjoy that content, because people are going to like different kinds of media, is, I guess, that part. But the other part is, I wish there was more humane portrayals of demons, because all the shit people say about demons, they also say about me. All the shit people say and portray demons as, they also portray people with high-functioning autism, or just autistic people in general, not just people with autism like mine. They also portray transgender people. They also portray DID systems in the same way that we portray demons. And that's the issue that I have, is that demons are not just evil spirits. They are not just, these things that they're made out to be. They are also all the parts of humanity that humanity fears and doesn't understand or rejects. And because of that, in just portraying them as evil, I feel like it's harmful, because they aren't just a fill-in for all the bad crap of humanity. They're also a fill-in for all the suppressed parts of you and me as humans. And so it's like, I guess as someone who has dedicated the last 2 to 3 years of my life to more solely focusing on demons, who also has experiences with demons going back the last 5 years. I'm 25. I've been practicing witchcraft since I was 20. I've only been openly labeling my craft since New Year's of 2023, specifically when I did my wizard's initiation ceremony. But it's just, I feel like demons are really important to my life, and I'm not trying to offend anyone. I really believe that they are nuanced, complicated, fully fledged people, and I just believe that they deserve more nuanced representation than just being written off as evil. And I guess part of it is maybe a confliction in definitions for what a demon is, since a lot of what people are taught that demons are is not what demons are, and it is complicated, I suppose. But essentially, I'm making this video because I love demons. I see myself in demons. As a sorcerer, I kind of see myself as a demon, I do see myself as a demon in my head. But obviously, physically, I'm human, and I accept that and know that. But I just think that that there is a lot of beauty and a lot of good in demons that gets overlooked in even in fictional portrayals. And I am always pleasantly surprised and optimistic and hopeful and happy and joyous as a witch when I see more positive portrayals of demons, because to me, what that shows is people integrating or seeing or sort of accepting the darker parts of their own psyche. And I think that's really important, and we need more of that in this society.